Thank you everyone for being here today and for showing up. I really appreciate that on a personal level. A little bit about myself. My name is Jeremy. I work for Consensus Software as a community moderator. I've been there a little over a year. We deal with many different communities. We support many different brands through the company itself. Most importantly, I want to give a little feedback onto how I started in this space. It was around 2017 or 18 during the Wild West ICO days. Everybody probably remembers that. It was like crazy in every social channel. But what I learned from there, being just a community member, was like, you get to see everything firsthand. You get to be there as a startup gets, expands. It grows their community, builds their product out to the entire world. Hopefully that's their idea. So the more you interact on a daily basis, the more you see the different changes within the product, you get to get a feel for what the community wants. You take into consideration everything that they have to offer you. And a little bit about that we'll touch on right now, the importance of why you need to keep the community happy in that sense. They provide you free marketing. This is huge. A lot of companies really pay big bucks for marketing, right, when you think about it. And one of the biggest killers of any project is if the community is not happy. They'll definitely let everyone know. They'll definitely let you know on the Discord channels, on any social channels, how they're not happy, they're disgruntled. They want to see changes. They provide free research and development, which is one of the biggest things as well, because obviously companies pay a pretty big penny for that as well. So in order to get that kind of free aspect of it from your community, you get to make these changes directly from the user. You have a product, let's say we put it out we're supporting that, it's an NFT or it's a kind of service that we offer. The community is going to give you their feedback, and you should definitely listen to it, because this is something that's going to be beneficial for both you and the user, ease of use. So they also offer sales. If they buy your product, if they use your product, that's a big thing. We all want that. I think every product wants that. There's so many things that can go along to it also. There's communication. You need to have a big presence in these communities, in these fields, because the more they see the team, the more they see the developers there, they're going to know that this is legit. They're going to have more faith in you as a developer, as a team, and they're going to either spread that message to the heavens, or that's going to be another thing that they take with them and complain about. So all the suggestions and the feedback that they give you, take that into consideration. I think everybody needs to do that. So far, we've had a couple NFTs that we've launched at Consensus. The Merge NFT we did recently, last year. We have another one going on right now. It's a free one, the Capella Shanghai upgrade. You can claim that now. Go to consensus.net. Look for Capella. But that's like something our communities for Capella, for Linea, the ZKVM testnet. We support our beach room. So obviously, there's a lot of changes. There's a lot of things to remember as you're going into each community. So therefore, it's always good to stay on top of it. Have your finger on the pulse of the community. You have to be present, always. There's always the demand for a team to be there, right? Discord gets crazy. You want as many people as you can, all hands on deck. No one wants to be no one wants to be frustrated and have a question that's not answered. We love to engage. One of our key core values at Consensus is cultivate community. That's one of our core values, one of our missions. And that means we grow there's not just one community, it's a community of communities. We're growing it constantly because we're all in this together. I think this is something that we all need to understand first before even getting into this industry. Web3 is crazy. If you don't try to wrap your head around how much you need a community and how much you need them to be happy, I'm going to stress that again, because they're the ones that make your project successful, or buy your product, or use your product on a daily basis. There's many things that go into supporting the community, making them happy. It's you build a product that hopefully everyone likes, hopefully everyone wants to see, and it just goes from there. There's so many other things that they have. So one thing I can say, some of the communities that I've actually seen and even had suggestions to check out on my own are obviously ours. I'm not going to be biased here a little bit. The Linea testnet community, the MetaMask community, they've all been very influential, letting us know. We've even started up a community guide program, basically, which gives you another aspect of another benefit of having a good community is community service, like community support. Basically, they're there for you also. Sometimes when you can't be there, if there's a problem, once you get to that point where your community is helping out in the channels on a daily basis. They're giving you, giving answers to the community members. This is something that, you try to strive to get to this goal as a project, as a company. You want to make that your first goal is to create this passion in the community, just like you have. You want them to be just as passionate about your product and about helping out as you are, because like I said, we're all in this together. And there's so many things that you can do in this sense, because it comes down to, when you're active as a community member, and then you go from community member to moderator, and then go from a moderator to a community manager, you really get the gist of how everything works, the whole progression of the entire project. So understanding that part first, being a community member, is key in any kind of industry like this, because we're all working together. So a little bit more about myself. There's another couple of projects that I think the communities are amazing. There's like Kataro World, NFT. Obviously, like they have a model I looked at. It's kind of like Bored Apes, right? Their brand model. It's kind of like the same aspect, but they gear it more toward Web 2, right? Because Web 2, it's still early, and they're trying to keep on bridging that gap. There's so many companies that want to come in here from Web 2, but they just don't know how. They're scared. They're nervous, right? So the more that you cater to them, the Web 2 brands, like when it comes to merchandise, when it comes to just being there, when it comes to utility, community is your biggest utility. Hands down. If you're not, like I said, if they're not happy, you're not going to be a successful project. So furthermore, another one is like Kuga NFT. There's like, oh God, Euler Beats. We're relaunching something pretty soon too. The Remix Studio is coming out on Monday. So that community, as well as another example of a community that was waiting for a product to be released from us, and they let us know they weren't happy, and we fixed it. Like, you have to listen to your community. As I said, community is the biggest utility you have, hands down. So another thing, thank you all for sticking it out for the 3 days too. I know it's a lot to take in with so many speakers, but before we kind of like wrap it up a little bit, I know it's short, but I just want to say thank you all for being like here, being passionate, being a part of this Web3 industry, because without all of us on the same goal, on the same path, none of this would happen. None of this would be the same kind of experience that I would like to have, or I had since 2017 till now, because there's new people coming in all the time, and they need as much help and as much like guidance as possible, whether it comes to security, making sure that your community's safe constantly. You could tell people till you're blue in the face that, hey, check your wallet, don't interact with nefarious characters. They might not listen to you. They might not hear you. They might just take this as, oh, okay, cool, and then still get hacked, right? So that's another thing. Constantly, you got to make sure that your community is secure. And as far as I'm concerned, we're trying our best to do that. We do that on a daily basis. I probably answer about 300 questions a day, at least, and that's just like, to me, is my passion. And so for you guys all to be here and to be as passionate about that, thank you for being yourselves, and thank you for having me up here. I appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of the event. Thank you, guys.